foaling season, meaning baby horses are coming in 3 months. It's crazy that we are here because I feel like we were just in breeding season, but there's a lot of new subscribers here on the channel. There's a lot of people that are gonna be experiencing their first foaling season with me. So I thought it'd be nice to have a little catch-up video to tell you who all's having babies, who the baby daddies are, what their due dates are, and other little details about them. So let's get to it. Baby mama number 1 is Erlene, or Big E, as we call her. So I'm gonna go get some treats so we can see her face. Uno momento. Her freckles are my favorite. There we go. There we go. So Erlene is a first-time mama, and she is our first mare due in 2025. So she is due January 16th. Now, if she's gonna have a baby within that like 320 to 340 range, then we will start being kind of on full watch around December 28th, I think, which we don't want. We do not want babies before January 1st. Don't listen to me, Erlene. Like, you have to wait till after January 1st. It's a big deal. It's not a big deal. It just kind of hinders your foal in chances of showing in futurities, because all horses in AQHA and thoroughbreds and paints, all their birthday is as of January 1st. So if a baby was born December 28th, then on January 1st, they're considered a yearling if they're gonna go show, which is crazy. So we need you to hold it in there, okay? I think you can do it. But she is a first-time mama, and she is bred to my stallion, VS Code Red. I am very excited. So Erlene, a little bit about her. She is a 6-year-old mare. She was a hunter under saddle show horse before she had an injury. She herself is by Allocate Your Assets and out of the amazing mare Red Carpet Rita. So she, I believe, had multiple top 3s and 5s at the All-American Quarter Horse Congress in the hunter under saddle. She also was 3rd place at the NSBA World. She is very accomplished herself as a show horse. So we are excited for her first baby, and I can't wait to see what color it is. I hope it's a filly. I hope it's red roan, but we shall see. Who's next? Oh, if you're out, then who got? I thought they kept the little kitties up. Who's in here again? Who got stuck? Oh no! Salem! Come here. Salem. Anyway, they're all running. We have so many kittens right now. Anyway, next one is Kennedy. We have the world's largest stockpile of treats, thanks to my P.O. box. Kennedy. So Kennedy's new. She is only like 3 weeks into being here. She is due January 29th. So she's our second one due. You know, who knows how it'll go? Because if Erlene goes a few days over and she goes a couple weeks early, who knows who will have theirs first. But she is due end of January. We could be having, you know, mid-January baby, and her baby daddy is Machine Made. Machine Made's pretty amazing. He is, I think, the #1 Western Pleasure stallion of the moment, of the last 5 years. His babies are incredible. We actually have a baby from 2024 by him named Molly, and Kennedy herself is pretty special. So she is by my stallion, VS Code Red. He's her daddy, and her mom is the legendary Cool Looking Lady. So Kennedy is a very accomplished show horse in her own right. She's a Congress champion in the 2-year-old Western Pleasure. She's a 4-time NSBA world champion. She's a reserve AQHA world champion, all in the Western Pleasure, and she's rather large. So in the future, I do want some hunter under saddle babies from her. And she is the mother of my young stud, Denver, which is pretty cool. He's her oldest baby. But she is my newest mare, and I'm very, very excited for her baby. So we have a wide range of color opportunities here. Because Machine Made is bay and she's red roan, I believe we could have solid red, solid bay, bay roan, red roan, and depending on their color genetics, there could be black, but I'm not sure. So Kennedy is #2. So baby mama #3 is Ginger. So Ginger is a homebred mare of ours. So she was born here. She is out of our mare Beyonce, who you'll see here in a little bit, and she is by my stud VS Code Red. So I actually bred her before I owned VS Code Red. I loved him for so long. She is bred back to the same stud that she was bred to for 2024. So if you haven't already, go check out her videos with her baby Freddie, who was born this past February. But she is bred back to Cool Breeze. Cool Breeze is a red stallion. He is a reserve Congress champion, I believe, in the Western Pleasure, and he is a younger stallion, but he has been proving himself, and he's already sired some Congress champions. He's incredible. She is very lovey and very wanting my attention right now because she had to have surgery on her hock. She had a puncture wound that we're not sure where it came from, and it was already getting infected within like 12 hours of it happening, so she had to go in for some kind of emergency surgery. It was a little nerve-wracking, but her and baby are perfectly fine. So she is due February 10th, but with her first baby this year, Freddie came 2 weeks early, so we could be looking at a late January baby. We shall see. Come here, sweetie. She doesn't have to have treats. She just wants lovin's. You want to see Ethel? What do you think about it? So Ethel is one of our family favorites. She has a home here forever. Ethel is a recip mare this year, meaning she is carrying for another one of our mares. So just like I said, Ginger's mom, Beyonce, we have 2 full siblings to Ginger coming this year, and one of them being the baby that Ethel is carrying. So it's Beyonce and VS Code Red. Now she is due the day after Ginger, February 11th, and she, in her past foals, has also had her babies a couple weeks early. So we have no clue who's gonna have their baby first on that. That's gonna be kind of like a little race. We shall see. Again, with this baby, we've done this cross twice before, one of them being Ginger, one of them being her older sister Stevie, and they look nothing alike. So we'll see what these 2 babies look like, even though they're full siblings. The one that Ethel's carrying and the one Gracie's carrying, we'll see if they resemble each other. But if it's anything like the first 2 we've done, they could look like anything. So very excited for this one. Let's go to the next. Come here. Annie is being antisocial, so you might have seen her in a video recently where my best friend's little girl showed her. So she is pregnant, but she's still a working mom, so she had to go to a horse show. She is getting a little plumper now that she's not being ridden quite as much, but Annie is having her second baby this year. The last one she had was in 2022, so she's had a couple years off. Annie is another one of our homebred babies, but not in the sense that we own the mare. We actually purchased an embryo from a mare named Vested Wishes back in 2014, and we bred her to Hot and Blazing. So it was a really cool combination of a Western Pleasure mare. Vested Wishes was a Congress champion, and then we bred her to World and Congress champion in the Hunter saddle, in the Western riding, and the trail, but he was like this 17-hand stallion named Hot and Blazing. And Annie is a really cool all-arounder. She's 15'2" and beefy, and so I bred her to a young stud this year named Cool Ladies Man, who is a bay stallion. So really excited for this cross. So she's due February 21st. Annie kind of went against the mold with her first baby in that a lot of our mares have their babies in like the 330-day range, I feel like. She went all the way to 345. She went 5 days past that due date. So I don't know what she's gonna do this year. I feel like she's gonna have a colt due to the fact that with her first baby and with this one, there's like a 3-month period where she acts like a stallion. Like if she passes a mare, she wants to rear up, and she's like, like she gets so excited and starts acting all testosterone-y and stallion-y. But then she chilled out and she was fine, and she toted around my best friend's little 7-year-old at a horse show. So very excited for her baby, even though she won't come say hi to us. So let's go to the next one. Next up is Phoebe. So Phoebe is an interesting case because I don't actually own Phoebe. She's a rental. I might own her at some point. I have the choice to buy her if I would like. But what happened was I purchased an embryo from a mare named Goody Goody Gumdrops. So I don't own her. She's actually the mother of Molly from this past year. And what we did was we used sexed semen from VS Code Red. I had him collected and it sorted into male semen or male sperm and female sperm so that we could use it on mares that we wanted to determine the sex of the baby. So we did that with Goody Goody Gumdrops to get a colt to potentially be a stallion prospect. Goody Goody Gumdrops herself was a very accomplished show horse, but she has produced so many Congress champions, world champions, including the stallion VS Good Ride. So she's the mother of VS Good Ride. So what happened was when they did the embryo, they did not have a recip mare that they owned to put it in, and they had to send it to a recip farm, meaning a farm that has a bunch of mares on it, and they just see who at that moment is synced up to get the embryo. And that's how Phoebe came to us. And Phoebe's a very sweet girl. She's gotten more spoiled since she's been here. She's, I believe, 6 years old. She's a quarter horse. And let's be real, she's probably gonna end up staying here, but I don't own her as of right now. So she is due March 13th with a Goody Goody Gumdrops VS Code Red baby. So next is Gracie. You wanna show us your face instead of your booty, Miss Ma'am? So Gracie, for the last 3 years, has carried foals for Beyonce. Beyonce is just about the only mare we have that Gracie can be a recip for because Gracie's so small. Beyonce herself is just under 15 hands and Gracie's 14 hands. So a lot of my mares are in that 16 hand range, and it would just be maybe a little bit big of a baby for poor Gracie. So the first time she carried for Beyonce was Petey, and then this past year it was 7. So 7, unfortunately, we know was born way too early. So after that happened, what we did was a uterine biopsy. We did all kinds of testing to ensure that it was not something that was wrong with Gracie that made 7 be born way too early, and it was concluded that there was nothing medically wrong with her. So we are letting her carry for Beyonce once again, but just as I said with Ethel, this is a full sibling to Ginger and Stevie. It is by VS Code Red. So since we're showing you, again, she doesn't want to come see us right now. She's a little too antisocial. But since I just showed you both the mares carrying for Beyonce, we'll go say hi to Beyonce. Even though she's too bougie to carry her own babies anymore, we'll include her. She is having babies, just not herself. Hi, sweetheart. So Beyonce is the queen of the farm. We've owned her since she was 5 years old. We were really successful showing her, but she did sustain an injury that ended her show career. So she tore her deep flexor tendon 95%. Before that though, she had been multiple time top 10 at the All-American Quarter Horse Congress. She had been shown super successfully in the trail. Like I said, she was only 5 when this happened. And so she had won all these circuit championships at all the biggest shows, and we were really hopeful for her career when she got injured. And so we wanted to breed her because of how fantastic she was, not just her talent, but because she's probably the best minded horse we own. She's probably the most fun horse I ever showed, like the best. Just wanted to please and was so much fun. So we bred her to an array of stallions: VS Code Red, Hey Good Looking, VS Good Ride. The VS Code Red babies are the oldest, which is Stevie and Ginger, who are 3 and 4. So because of her injury, we did let her carry her first few babies, but we started doing embryo transfer because the weight that she would gain with her pregnancies would cause a little bit of discomfort on her injury. So now, since she is, I mean, she's not a thin girl by any means, but she's not gigantic with a baby, you know what I'm saying? And so it has allowed her to stay way sounder. Like, I saw her trotting in her pasture the other day and she looked perfectly sound, which is amazing. So we want her to be here as long as possible and happy and healthy. And she is 13 years old, so she gets to live the life of luxury of not even having her own babies anymore. She just gets to do what she wants all day, which I wouldn't mind that, you know? I don't feel bad for her. Last but not least is Happy, who I'm super happy to see is happy. She's a little grumpy sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But Happy came to us this last foaling season, 3 weeks before she foaled. She had Howie this year, so you can go watch her birth video. But she herself had an amazing foal this year. She's by VS Flatline. She's out of a super old blooded Zippo Carl Bar mare, and I would not protest to her having her own baby in the future, but she's still really young, and I already had this embryo purchased by out of Marilyn Monroe and by VS Code Red, and so we went ahead and put it in Happy because Happy was all timed up for it. So she is due April 15th with this baby. She's our last mare due. Marilyn Monroe, the donor mare, is double registered, meaning she's both paint and quarter horse. So there's the potential for some white markings there. She is beautiful. She's an APHA world champion, I believe. I need to go look back and look, but she was very successful at the Quarter Horse Congress in the NSBA world in the Western Pleasure. And so she herself is fantastically beautiful, and I'm super excited for this baby. Crossing my fingers for a filly, but we shall see. So while we are only 3 months away from foaling season, we are also only 3 to 4 months away from breeding season. And we have lots of freeloaders who will be used as recips this coming year. So it'll be a really cool time to use both my stallions, First Things First, which will be his first season breeding, and the S Code Red, and an array of other stallions due to the fact that I have mares that are way too related to both my studs to breed to them. So we still have to have a little mixture in there. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know which mare you're most excited to see foaling. Let me know your predictions, and stay tuned for foaling season because it's not that far away.